Hey Shrubcrafters, welcome back to another edition of Shrubcraft brought to you by Shrubcraft and Red Eagle Trapping, me, Aaron, and I want to give you a comparison today of two handsaws. One is the wolfgarten REK or REC, the other is the Bahco Laplander. A lot of you are probably familiar with this one already. This one, I've seen some negative reviews on just when I was Googling some information on it. This one, of course, has the cult following like Amora does. So I just want to take you through some of the quick specs, some of the likes and dislikes that I have with it, and maybe it'll help you with some information. So let's start with the wolfgarten because I've had this saw in my possession since probably 99 or 2000. One of my favorite pieces of equipment when out in the shrub is this little handsaw for processing some wood. So why do I like this? First, foremost, and simplest is this mechanism right here. I can press this and the saw blade drops free. It may not seem like a big deal to a lot of you, but just like a one-handed opener on a knife, the one-hand open feature is very nice when you're using this. This tool, to go back down, you just press and it does come down. Now what's interesting is if you saw it pop loose, that spring mechanism inside of there does kind of help prevent it from closing on your hand. Again, any tool you want to keep that is sharp, you want to keep away from your hand and use responsibly. So something that I've always liked about this saw is that I can one-handed open it. Not only is that a cool factor, but if I'm holding it in my left hand and I need to cut something, I can, and I'm not being left-handed, I can still open this mechanism and I can still close this mechanism. So that was a big deal to me that I didn't know I really appreciated until I got the Bahco Laplander in my hand. Now, this is a brand new purchase for me from Avalox Tools in Melbourne, Florida. One of the things about this saw blade is that you can't pull it out just like the wolfgarten can't pull out without releasing the mechanism. The mechanism, though, is very small, and when pressed does not allow the blade to swing free. Not necessarily a bad issue for me, but it means it's not a one-hand opener. So I press, and with quite some effort, I do get that open. Now, being tight is not a bad thing. It means that it's secure. It means that it's probably not going to wobble and loosen over time. But the mechanism itself seems a little chintzy to me. It's a small circular button, which is obviously molded into the handle here. And one of my fears is that this will eventually break, whereas this, since 2000, has not. So I'm going to rate that as a negative for it, but not necessarily an overall on the performance. So the other thing is this is a 7 TPI saw blade, which is tooth per inch, going through, and it's using 2 teeth, one on alternating side in standard saw fashion. So 7 TPI, I can give you the measurement right now. Let's go 1 inch. It is right there, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because this front one does not have another one. So that's actually a 12 TPI saw blade if you're counting those little ones. And just to verify that this is actually a 7, let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 right on the nose. So I'm going to call this a 12 TPI and this is a 7. So slightly different category for that. So results in great cutting. Both of them measure right at about a 1/16 of an inch saw blade. This one has a continual saw pattern all the way up, and this is a 8-inch blade with 7 TPI, and I paid $16.75 for it. Comes with a lanyard and a rubberized grip. Feels nice, so in wet conditions it's going to be good. The button is my only drawback, but that's not that big of a deal. The other thing is you have teeth right up close to the handguard, so if you're working fine, you theoretically can get used all the way to the handle, although that rarely is the case in any saw. So on this one, wolfgarten, you have a gap right here. I'm not going to choke up on this. To do it, you could, but that allows you to use the full length of the blade, so in essence, your wear pattern should be the same. In terms of care for these, you can see this one has rust on it. This one gets used heavily. This one's brand new, so I expect this coating to wear off. It is a rust-resistant coating. To file these, you can get yourself a little jeweler's file, or any small mill bastard file would work as well, but really a diamond jeweler's file with either a completely flat, or there is a triangular style that you can use. And you can cut with these. Chainsaw files are going to work the same way. I'm just going to go against these, and you can sharpen them right up. So being that these are all uniform, one of the nice things is that you go from one side to sharpen one, and you just go down, flip the saw over, and do the other tooth in the other direction, and that will get you ready to go, just like in a saw blade. So both look like they're going to be easy to sharpen, both look like they're going to be easy to use, and both look like they're easy to maintain. So I'm going to say they're pretty much on par with each other. The only thing I'm going to give points to is on the wolfgarten. It has that easy one-handed opening. I'm going to take points away from it because it does not have a rubberized grip like this one does, so this grip is going to be much nicer. Weight-wise, with this locking mechanism up here, has a slightly heavier forward weight feel, whereas this one has a much more uniform feel, although I've always liked that weight forward because when I'm pushing it does give you a little more reinforcement. The other thing is you have this giant hex nut that pulls in and locks itself, whereas here you have a Phillips. So if you needed to take it apart in the field, you're going to need a hex nut to take that apart, whereas a standard Phillips head is going to do the job for you there. The difference though is that being that this is heavier, it does add some of the weight to there. This one feels lighter in the hand than this. This feels more uniform in the hand. Again, that's a feel factor, not a true weight factor. So between the two, almost identical profiles of the blades side by side. Here's the back. Here's the side. Here's the overlap, so you can see the extra inch on this. Cutting is 6 1/4 versus 8, because again you lost out here, which to me is not a loss. So there you go, side by side. This is the Wolfgarten, Bahco Laplander. Both of them are easy pack, or easy to pack, easy to carry in, easy to use. I'm going to do some head-to-head cutting with them. We'll see how that the cutting efficiency is, and we'll do that. And we'll go from there. But overall, I think both of them you can't go wrong with. But coming in at $19.99 is the cheapest I found on Amazon. They do sell these in the big box stores. I saw them the other day at was it Lowe's, I believe, had them. Did not check the price because it was there for something else. But online, 6 1/4 blade, supposedly 1.5 pounds, measures 15 by 5 by 2, and made in Germany. Blade on this one, I can no longer see if it is actually German steel, but it does say made in Germany. On the blade here, we have an 8-inch blade. I don't have the specs for the whole thing, but the website from Avalox says it weighs in at 1/2 pound. That can't be right because if you're holding both of them, they feel about the same. This is a high-quality steel, design and quality Bahco, made in Sweden. So if this is a Swedish steel blade, that's great. The Bahco replacement bow saw blades I had said made in Portugal. So we'll find out a little more about that, and I'll dig up some research. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. So impressions, my wolfgarten, as I said earlier, is probably from around 2000, 2001, and it is real sharp on the teeth, but a little shorter, not by much. But this long, slender blade tended to chew right through it. Now this is razor sharp, pinprick sharp, so it did a better job. So the dull factor, I also have a bent raker there. The slight dull factor made that old dead tree a little bit harder. So that's why I stopped using this one and went to the Bahco. So fortunately, not having a head-to-head comparison of brand new, but I'm giving the Bahco the edge because it was much easier to cut through that. So there's the two of them, and I'm going to continue cleaning up some of this stuff.